What's going on, guys? Ben from JK Gear and Gadgets, and today's video we're going to be putting JL hood latches on a JK. So we'll just start off real quick showing you the difference between the JL and the JK. I mean, you guys have seen the JK hood latches before. The factory ones, they fade, they're really not that good looking, and with the release of the JL, everybody noticed that it did come with new hood latches. These look a lot bigger, not only in size but stronger too. It does have a metal clip opposed to a rubber strap. If you've owned a JK for a while, you've heard of hood flutter, and what that is this rubber stretching when you're on the highway. You can see the hood movement, especially when it's windy, really warm. This piece kind of heats up and you'll see your hood going up and down. It's kind of scary. It's not good for your aerodynamics, mileage, all that stuff. So a lot of people resort to going to an aftermarket hood latch. Personally, I don't really like any of the ones on the market right now. I like a few, but I mean, the ones I like are, 100, 150 bucks, and I'm not about to spend that on some hood latches. So saw this on an Instagram post. Big shout out to Real Booger Jeep and Ultron JK. They actually posted a picture of this, and I thought, well, let's get a set of these and let's do a YouTube video so that people can see exactly how to put these on and if it's worth it. I'm going to put the part number and price in the description of this video so you guys can go order them if you want. I got them from moparpart.com, but you can find them all over all over the internet, and hopefully soon other retailers will start carrying them. But let's go ahead and dive on into the install. All right, so being that this is like a fairly new mod to the the Jeep world, I have no idea what I'm about to do. I'm gonna do the first side off video, mess around with it, see how it how it works, and then go over to the other side and walk through step by step how to install the JL latches. All right, so here's one side installed. As you can tell, it is bigger, but it does look pretty cool. It went on pretty easy. I'll explain on the next one, but wanted to show you guys what one side looks like. So operation is pretty similar. You just pull this, and as you can tell, this metal clasp actually pops off automatically. To put it back on, you're gonna have to push the clasp. So hold this down, push the clasp up and over, and then lock it in. It feels a lot more secure than the stock one. But let's do a before and after shot real quick. Stock hood latches, JL hood latches. All right, let's dive right on in with the install on how to install these JL hood latches onto the JK. I'm gonna say they're not exactly bolt-in. You do have to drill out the original mounting holes on the hood and fender just so we can align the hood and the body lines perfectly, because we are using different latches. But super simple, and if you ever did want to, you could go back to the factory latches. But after installing the driver's side, I really don't know why you'd want to. These are a huge upgrade. Parts list. We're gonna need a 10mm socket, 13mm socket, a ratchet, possibly an extension, and a 3/8 drill bit. That's the size I drilled the holes out to. It seemed to work good, but you can play around with it, start smaller, go bigger if you want to. But the 3/8 is what I finished at, and it seemed to be a good size hole to really be able to move these around and get a good seal on the hood. But let's go ahead and start doing it. All right, step one, we're gonna open our hood and remove these two 10mm nuts. Step two is going to be remove this the actual latch that's secured to the fender. Inside there's one 13mm nut. It's pretty hard to get to, so you're going to need, really what I'm going to use is a swivel with an extension, preferably a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch drive, just because there's not much room to get in there. A few helpful tips: you could either remove the grill and pull it out a little bit, or remove your inner fenders if you have some, so you can get your hand up in there. Also, it might help if you have, cold air intake. I don't know, you might need to remove your stock air box, but I don't have one here, so I don't know if it's gonna get in the way. But the bolt, or the nut, sits right in there. It's gonna be kind of hard to get to, but I mean, you gotta do it. You might have to take some stuff off to get to it, but whatever you gotta do, you gotta get it off. So I'm gonna snake my way in there with some extensions and, wobbly sockets and get that 13mm off. All right, so I was able to get it off fairly simple with a wobble and 13mm. kind of going right this way. You just need to break it loose with this, and then you can reach your finger in here and unscrew it, because it's really not tight. But now that we have both the original latches off, we're gonna come over here, clean this area up, you know, get some soap or whatever, wipe that down here and on the hood, and then we're gonna drill out our holes. The holes we're gonna drill is pretty much all 5 stock holes. These top two are the alignment pins, and the bottom one is where the actual the stud goes through. So we're gonna drill all 3 of these out to 3/8, as well as the 2 on the hood. Alright, so one thing I'll say is don't be afraid to drill. A lot of people hate cutting and drilling into their Jeep, especially this. It's going to be hidden, you're not going to see it. It's really not a big deal. Drill it, cut it, mod the Jeep, make it cool. This is a good upgrade, looks better, and it's going to function better. So I mean, don't let this drilling hold you back. It's really not a big deal. Alright, so after you're done drilling the holes, you know, clean up all the metal flakes. I'd highly recommend filing down any little, you know, shavings or burrs that you have on the mounting surface. Also, tape it up and hit it with some primer or some paint or just a little touch-up pin, just so this eventually doesn't lead to rust. I know it would take a long time, but you know, if you still want to own your Jeep in 20 years and don't want pieces of your hood rotting out, I'd recommend just painting these holes. So the reason we have to drill those holes out is because with the JL latches compared to the JK latches, you can see these 2 alignment tabs here. They're actually wider on the JL than they are in the JK. So that's why we have to enlarge those holes so the alignment tabs sit in there, so this doesn't have any side-to-side movement. Like I said earlier, the 3/8 seems to be the best drill bit size to go with, but you know, I don't blame you if you don't trust me and want to start off small and go bigger. But that's what I went to on all the holes. The studs are the same pitch, same threads, so you're going to reuse all the factory hardware, which is nice. But I'm gonna go ahead and install this, put it on, and same thing, reach in there, tighten it down with a 13mm, and then we're gonna move up to the top of the hood, do the same thing, reinstall those 10mm nuts, and then work on the alignment, and I'll show you guys that. When you're tightening this down, you don't want to over tighten it because it is a stud and it's held in by plastic on the inside, but you want to make sure you get it nice and snug, just so this bottom the mount doesn't have any more wiggle or play. But you really don't want to have to crank down on it too much, because if you spin that out, you're pretty much screwed. So just take your time, nice and slow, until you get a little resistance and it's no longer moving. So right here is pretty good. We're going to take it out and move up top. Alright, so this next part is where we're really going to deal with the alignment. The reason we drilled these top ones out is so we have some up and down movement on the hood, the actual catch, so we can adjust how tight this is going to seal, how tight it's going to lock. To start out, I like to move it all the way up and then thread the nuts on and tighten it down, close the hood, and do a test fit. My recommendation is to do one side at a time, driver and then passenger, just so you have some baseline of to where the hood line was. When I did my driver's side, originally I didn't have this mounted up high enough, so there was a gap compared to the original hood latch. So I went back, drilled them out, and moved it up some, and it sat just like this side did. So now that I know the driver's side's good, I can come over here, tighten this down, and compare it to the original lines. But might take you a few times to get it perfect. But I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this down, close the hood, lock it, and you know, check to see if my work's good enough for me. Alright, so I tightened them down, and right off the bat I can tell that I need to move the mount a little bit clockwise, because right now it's not really lining up perfect. So I'm gonna loosen the bolts and move it clockwise a hair, just so it lines up a little bit better. Alright, so I just went back and adjusted it, and it's pretty much perfect. Lines right up. One thing you're looking for during the alignment is to make sure these little bump pads down there where the clasp meets the latch, right down there, make sure that's level and even. And we're gonna put it on, latch it up, and the body line is nice and straight. It does take a little getting used to, because they are a lot different than the factory ones before. You know, the old ones you just popped off and they went, but these similar, you know, you push it all the way down and it pops off. Put it on, you kind of have to get this tab over first and then lift it up, but it seals up a lot better than the factory hood latches. You know, I'm prying it here and it barely has any movement. The only movement that I'm seeing in there is the actual hood deflecting. There's no more freaking rubber straps. This is steel. So from a design standpoint, they got it right with the JL. So it's awesome that with little modifications, we can move that design over to the JK. So I'm extremely happy with this upgrade, and I think it looks pretty dang sweet. They are a little bit big, but you know, I think it turned out pretty good. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, this is a pretty easy DIY project. Out the door, I think it cost me around $65. I'll put the part numbers in the description. They come single, so you're gonna have to buy 2 of each. 65 bucks out the door isn't bad for a nice set of hood latches. I mean, even if you went with the cheap, you know, Chinese ones from Amazon, you're still gonna be looking around 50 bucks. So I think these look a lot cleaner. And in the future, I'm sure they might fade, suffer the same fate that the JK ones did. But I mean, mine lasted 8 years. So if these last another 5 years, I'll be happy. You know, even powder coated hood latches are not gonna last forever. So if the time comes where these fade, you know, I'll just bolt on a new set, no big deal. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Throw some stuff in the comments. And like I said, the part numbers will be in the description. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and press that share button. Share it to your buddies on Facebook, you know, send them the links. I think this is gonna be a really popular upgrade. It looks pretty cool. So stay tuned for more videos. Got a few more installs coming. Luckily, I was able to get out here and do this video. It was supposed to rain today, but I had like a 2-hour window, so I think it took me like 30 minutes to install these. Not bad, plus making the video, which adds a lot of time. But I'm gonna stop talking. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you later.